35 years ago, Konami changed run-and-gun shooters forever with the landmark release of Contra. This fast-paced action game not only took arcades by storm, but also proved to be one of the top-selling games on the Nintendo Entertainment System. In fact, it ended up being so popular that it spawned a long-running franchise with all kinds of sequels, spin-offs, reboots, and more. For their part, Electronic Gaming Monthly reviewed 10 games in the Contra franchise between 1989 and 2009. While they failed to review the original NES game, 1992's Contra Force, or Contra Legacy of War on either the PlayStation or Saturn, they did manage to cover pretty much everything else. To help celebrate this amazing franchise's 35th anniversary, I wanted to see what EGM said about the Contra series using their own words and review scores. There's no editorializing here, we're just gonna focus on what the critics said back in the day. So come, join me as we count down Electronic Gaming Monthly's top 10 Contra games.
Need more firepower? Jump into Contra, Shattered Soldier. Blazing fast action, swarms of alien enemies, and all the firepower you need to get the job done. Contra, Shattered Soldier, rated T for Teen for PlayStation 2 and Game Boy Advance from Konami.
Alright, up first, we have number 10, C, the Contra Adventure on the PlayStation. I don't know about you, but when I upgraded from the Super Nintendo to the PlayStation 3 years ago, one of the reasons I did so was to play better games with better graphics and, more oomph as a plastic spoon. Ooh, the graphics suck big time, and to be honest, Contra 3 both looked and played much better. It's dull, unimaginative, and a disgrace to the Contra franchise. A void like the pox. Number 9, Contra Advance, the Alien Wars EX on the Game Boy Advance. If you're old enough to remember digesting Contra 3, the Alien Wars on the Super Nintendo over several weeks of gaming bliss, you're gonna be a little miffed by our new friend here. True, EX runs like a dream on the Game Boy Advance, bucking any slowdown problems plaguing the Super Nintendo granddaddy. But some of the original and best Alien Wars features got dropped off of EX bottom line. You can no longer hold and switch between two power-ups. Oh, and the super bombs? Well, kiss them goodbye. Plus, with the GBA's teeny screen, you've got even less room to maneuver when it comes to avoiding enemies and bullets. For Contra virgins, EX is a solid, if not daunting, introduction. Nostalgic Alien Wars fans are better left living in the past. Number 8, Contra Hardcore on the Genesis. Contra heads in a new direction in the Genesis version of this classic military shooter. I like having to choose between 4 new characters, and the weapons are very cool. The graphics and special effects are done well, and the music gets you totally into the action. On the downside, I thought there were too many mid-bosses and not enough real enemies. It's also really difficult. Overall, a good game. Number 7, Neo Contra on the PlayStation 2. Why must Neo Contra be so short? I want to see more giant plant things with baby heads and talking dogs wearing Kaiser helmets. Seriously, there's some crazy enemy designs in the game, and most of the levels are equally insane. The only problem is that there just aren't enough of them. And while Neo Contra may be difficult initially, you'll play through it in a few hours, especially when you get the new weapon set after seeing the wrong ending. Still, it's a pretty fun few hours at least. Number 6, Contra, the Alien Wars on the Game Boy. For a Game Boy, this version of Contra is pretty darn good. The graphics, although inferior to the 16-bit version, look great, and when you use the Super Game Boy, the sound is very impressive. Even though you miss some of the cool Mode 7 effects of the Super Nintendo, this one still holds its own. I just wish the fire and jump buttons were closer together when you use the Super Nintendo controller. A fine game. Number 5, Contra 4 on the Nintendo DS. In the 20 years since its debut, Konami's arcade-bred run-and-gun Contra franchise has seen its fair share of ill-advised series reboots. This time, Contra Force developer has eschewed innovation in favor of unadulterated mimicry. And it's a winning choice. Contra 4 looks, plays, and sounds like some long-lost 16-bit sequel. Everything from the power-up arsenal to the towering bosses feels like a throwback to the classic titles. Likewise, the demanding difficulty and rollicking co-op gameplay ensures that you're going to want to return to it again and again. Number 4, Super C on the Nintendo Entertainment System. Super C doesn't represent a drastic change from the original, nor a totally unique entry into the running, shooting library of games. The card is executed extremely well, however, with graphics that are fantastically detailed and play that is intense. A good game, supported by great features. Number 3, Contra Shattered Soldier on the PlayStation 2. It may look fancy, but Shattered Soldier is old school in every possible way. It's got old school level designs, old school challenges, and most importantly, kick-ass old school gameplay. Contra fans will be beside themselves when they see how cool this looks and plays on the PlayStation 2. Muster up your patience though, these pattern-based boss encounters demand extremely precise play. In fact, this ends up being my only real qualm with the game. I wish it had more simple run-and-gun Contra gameplay. Number 2, Operation C on the Game Boy. The ultimate Game Boy game. While similar to the Nintendo Entertainment System version, it has new features that make it fresh. Everything is perfectly done. Weapons, power-ups, graphics, and sound. Game Boy games just don't come any better. Enough said. And finally, number 1, Contra 3, The Alien Wars on the Super Nintendo. You can't do an action game much better than this. Konami has packed a lot into Contra 3, and it shows. From the incredible boss encounters to the overhead rotation levels, this card has challenges as well as eye-poppin' visuals. The gameplay is still Contra, and in a suit like this, the game has never looked better.
Three-way scroll, high position visual, sound selective mode. It's a super AV action, Contra. ファミコン用カセットコントラ好評発売中。Konami.
Hey, thanks for watching me counting down EGM's best and worst Contra games. If you liked what you saw here, then you should know that we have a whole playlist full of these episodes. We've looked at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Batman, Sonic, Mega Man, Resident Evil, Castlevania, and so much more. Now, here's the question I have for you. What's your favorite Contra game? Maybe I should ask, what's your favorite Contra game besides Contra 3? I have a hunch that's going to be the one that takes it in a landslide. No matter what, let me see your picks in the comments below. Believe it or not, I actually am hard at work on a bunch of new reviews, as well as that brand new weekly Die Hard game fan series that'll be debuting sooner than you think. If that sounds good to you, then I strongly recommend you click that subscribe button and support what we're doing here. Until then,